I myself is self-taught. Thanks to my friends who has given their skin at that point of time. Even first I whenever I started, I started from my own skin. I understood it. I tattooed quite a lot of pieces on me. I understood it. Then I did it on my friend. And later, because that point of time it was difficult.
Niloy, just cutting you short, just asking, I had to kind of ask you, who was that first friend who kind of gave you that kind of, okay, ठीक है मेरा इस पे कर सकते हो? I'm just wanting to know if you are okay with sharing it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely.
This is Future Sound of Bengal with Rahi, the OG of all podcasts in Bengal. Available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All socials at the rate of Future Sound of Bengal. All episodes are available on futuresoundofbengal.com. Let's begin.
Okay, guys, we are back after a quick break. Once again, we have Niloy in the studio, and we were discussing, the different cultures regarding tattoo, and Niloy was kind of discussing with us regarding that. And yes, so as we were kind of talking, Niloy, if you could say that, what the specific influence in different tribes, what kind of, why people basically get those tattoos and what those actually mean. So, yeah, we can take it off from there if you want.
Yeah, so if we talk about tribes and all, different tribes has a different ideologies for tattoos and all. So, if I talk about a tribe, they actually do crocodile skin. What crocodile skin means, when we do get a cut, we a deep cut, we get the skin gets little bumpy. So they cut their skin in such a way, they make marks all over their body with sharpened stone. So it gives a feel that the whole skin is bumpy. That's how it is called crocodile skin. That comes under body modification though. But in tattoos also, a lot of other tribes has a lot of things to do with tattoos. If I say in India, there is a community called Ramnami.
Okay.
So Ramnami is a community as still in India. It is sad that there is still caste system and all, and they are considered to be from the lower or backward caste. They are not allowed to go to the temples and all. So for them, Lord Rama is who they preach to, and that's why they get in their whole bodies Ram. So you can find 5,000, 10,000s of Ram on their body tattooed. So yeah, every tribe has a different kind of representation through tattoos.
Okay. And you were mentioning while we were in the break, you were kind of mentioning these melas, indigenous melas there, where these things would happen also. So can you kind of enumerate on that a bit?
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about, the street culture of tattoos. We all have seen some tattoo artists in some mela or fair, whatever we call it. We call it in local language ulki or godna.
Okay.
Which is basically same like tattoos, but the hygiene standards, the artwork or quality of work lags behind.
Okay.
That's why the modern or the tattooing has developed to came into studios like modern tattoos, where the hygiene and safety standards, artwork, everything is taken care of.
Okay. So what do you guys do? I did see, when we went to your studio, there's a lot of, you guys give a needle with the number and all these things. So what are the safety measures that you take in your studio for this?
There are actually a lot of things that we have to keep in mind while tattooing, because that if we do something which is not right, it might cause cross contamination.
Okay.
It can cause lot of infections. So to avoid everything and to neutralize everything, we have to take care of a lot of things, like using disposable materials all the time. The machines can't be like disposable, but we have to sanitize it properly, and the things that we hold onto are always disposable. We have we have wraps for everything. We have to throw away after every procedure is done. Needles, anyway, they are disposable. Even the ink cups, and for everything it is disposable, we have to use. So yeah, there are a lot of if we see, there are maybe 40-50 things that we need to tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite something great that you guys are following that. So because safety is very important. If you're getting tattooed, get it from a proper place, because you don't want things to go wary. And I have kind of heard some horror stories. so I would recommend you guys kind of get in touch with Niloy and team if you're wanting to kind of do this, even if you're from another kind of state or something, if any of my friends are watching. Aja, so we were like talking about your work and what you do. What do you do when you don't work? I do know that you travel a bit, so tell me something what you do when you don't work on these things.
Yeah, so when I'm not working, I'm mostly traveling.
Okay.
I love to drive.
Okay.
I love roads.
Okay.
That's how actually I went out when I'm too stressed, because maybe I love tattooing. Everyone maybe love their own profession in some extent. There are a lot of people I know that doesn't love their profession, but I do love my profession a lot. But there is always a fatigue to whatever we love. So we have to take break from everything that we love to do. So whenever I'm kind of tired from my work, I do take a break, go travel. That's how it actually it's like a stress reliever for me, like traveling.
Okay. Do you meditate by any chance? Do you follow meditation or anything?
No, I don't meditate in that way, you can say. But like when working on some designs and all, I do have to keep calm and forget about other things, what's happening in life. And running a show like the studios, you have to take care of a lot of people. I do have to divert myself from everything and focus into certain to only my work. That is kind of a meditation for me. Even when I'm tattooing, I don't have to, I have to cut out everything from my mind and have to be focused in one thing. That is kind of a meditation for me, you can say.
Okay, so when you feel unfocused at work or anything, this is also a question which we do ask our folks. Who, what do you do when you feel unfocused at work? What do you do to kind of get yourself back on track? What do you do? Yeah,
so it is quite normal to be unfocused at times. So whenever, like, if the days are like you have to work and you are tattooing and you are kind of unfocused and or unwell, we actually can give sessions to our client. So we definitely do ask the person to come next day so that we can actually put our whole focus into the work and do it. And if it's like if you say like a continuous work for a few days, and then that artist block comes in, that's how I said like traveling helps me a lot. And that's how I overcome my artist blocks and diversions and all.
Okay. Do you have any kind of an unusual habit that you have which we are not aware of, or you want to share?
Unusual habit. difficult to answer actually.
Anything that is quirky or something which which is very unusual. Obviously, you're in a profession in itself which is very unusual, but still asking, and unusual for a kind of I'll say a Bengali kid. Obviously, in internationally, though, obviously that's there, but still, about you, anything unusual habit you have?
I have to actually think of something which is. Actually, there are many, but মানে এরকম ভাবে হঠাৎ করে মাথায় আসছে না যে which is unusual. Maybe like shaking of legs when I'm like kind of nervous and all. I don't know, but I do feel good when I'm like. But yeah, it's I can't say it's unusual, but I have to think of something.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you a better question in that case. So tell me a new belief, behavior, or habit that has kind of improved your life in the last, say, a year.
Habit of maybe yoga in the morning, because I was facing a lot of trouble with my back issues I had. So I kind of started yoga and all in the morning to overcome it. And another good decision, I used to ride also before. So I quit that because my back was giving up, and I completely shifted to driving. I'm not riding anymore. I think that's another decision that is good for me.
Okay. So tell me, Niloy, that you kind of made your own way and up the ladder in the kind of this tattoo world that is. Now say a kid, say someone who is kind of a college kid who is kind of seeing or maybe listening to the podcast, if they think that okay, mujhko tattoo mein I want to be a tattoo artist, what are the options? How do they go about it? What is the situation? Say if a new college kid wants to, just interested, they most probably don't have that kind of knowledge right now. Maybe they are an artist themselves, maybe in any kind of fine arts or anything, good at painting, good at drawing, whatever, and they want to kind of take it to the next level. They have that interest for whatever reason. What would be your kind of suggestion to them or guidance? Where do they start with?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, that tattooing might look very flashy, this profession, because we are cool, we are making tattoos and all. But first of all, everyone needs to be disciplined first. So tattooing is something that you are working on skin. So rushing towards the trade is difficult because or is not wise enough, I would say, because you might damage the skin, and once that damage is there is no damage control for this thing if we are not properly guided through. I myself is self-taught, thanks to my friends who has given their skin at that point of time. Even first I whenever I started from my own skin. I understood it, like I tattooed quite a lot of pieces on me. I understood it, then I did it on my friend, and later, because that point of time it was difficult because
Neela, just cutting you short, just asking, I had to kind of ask you, who was that first friend who kind of gave you that kind of okay, theek hai, mera is pe kar sakte ho? I'm just wanting to know if you are okay with sharing it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely say it's my very good friend Priyam.
Okay.
So he is also a school friend of mine, and he trusted me a lot. So it was first him who came up and say like, okay, you can tattoo me.
That's scary. If you understand why he asked, right?
Yeah, for sure. And
great.
I don't want to boast, but I think I didn't fuck it up actually.
So you guys are still friends, or
Yes,
okay,
for
thank
sure,
God.
because it wasn't a bad tattoo. He's quite happy after
Okay.
it. After a
Okay.
while, we actually modified it, we
Okay.
extended it, and he
Okay.
has got a lot of tattoos from me later on
Mhm.
also. Like we have done like seminar in
Wow.
Goa and all, where he has been under my machines, like where like from the first like it's like a transition, like from the first tattoo when I started, like and to a seminar where I'm actually showing or teaching students, like 30-40 students, and I'm tattooing still on him. It's kind of a great feeling, and he's a great friend of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He must be a very good guy, kind of you're using him as canvas from the beginning. But that's good. Good to have good friends.
Yeah.
Good here to kind of know about that. Yeah, so you were saying regarding that, so how does one go about it? The kind of,
Yeah, the requirement is like a proper guidance actually. So if someone wants to learn tattooing now, there are a lot of options. You can get a apprenticeship program from any senior artist, or there are like multiple academies now. Even we have launched one recently where people can actually learn this process like right from the beginning.
Okay.
So it is kind of a technique that you need to learn from.
Okay.
Someone can be great artist on paper, but learning tattooing and tattoos are completely different from paintings, because you do it on paper, you can go wrong, you can do whatever you want on paper, but not on skin. So learning it properly and doing it actually will give you benefit for long run.
Okay. So tell me one thing, Niloy, okay, just out of kind of curiosity. Obviously the prerequisite to rehta hai ki that person has to be a good artist, but have you seen anyone who has not any prior art background being a good tattoo artist just from the is that something that can happen, or is that a
Yes, definitely it can happen. Every good tattoo artist is not a good painter, but every great painter can also not be a good tattoo artist. It is about learning both the things. So someone who's maybe a great tattoo artist can actually because it is about the learning the techniques, how you actually perform on skin. And if you are taking out a design and performing it, learning the procedure, you can be a great tattoo artist, definitely. But at one point of time, when you don't have a creativity of your own, you are not creating something that is actually making a difference from others, you will not be having a name for yourself actually.
Okay, makes sense. So also about these tattoo conventions, you visit a lot of conventions. Your website also says something regarding you've been kind of about this first artist or something. Aisa kuch hai, I think kuch from the tattoo artists. So can you just talk to me about those conventions that you are, or any international kind of collaborations if you have, or any such things? So a bit.
So tattoo conventions are kind of like fair, you can say, which is completely focused to tattooing and body modifications and all. So international tattoo conventions are some places where actually tattoo artists from all over the world gather, and they perform in such a way that the competitions, there are categories where people do participate in, like small black and grey tattoos, small color tattoos, or maybe full sleeve tattoo or full back piece, something like this. There are categories of competition where actually artists do take part. They bring in their own clients or walk-in customers and all, and they tattoo, and it's kind of a very healthy competition that happens. These are like tattoo conventions where even it's a great learning platform for new comers or who are already professional tattoo artists.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a learning experience that you have from conventions.
Okay, makes sense. Niloy, this is more of a kind of a personal question that I have here. So tell me that, in the last, say, 1 year, tell me what is, one of the best, most worthwhile investments you have made. It might be, in terms of monetary investment, it might be time, it might be energy. And let's do one thing. Let's not give the 1 year mark. Also, you can kind of take it any forward. What would be the best investment you have made till now in terms of this?
In investment in sense of time or energy, you can say that I can say that the decision of the decision of giving tattoos which are customized requires a lot of energy and time. So I think that decision itself is kind of a investment for me, because that is actually giving a mark to the people where they are getting something which is unique and out of the box from other who they see having the similar concepts or something. But the concepts can be same, but the artistic approach is completely different. So that is one investment I can talk about. And for my own self, the investment I actually I started taking care of my health, which I was not doing it before. Like started playing table tennis again, because I was playing when I was in school, and then I played it so much that I had to drop a class actually, because I was playing interstate and all like this.
Oh, wow.
So I started it again, and I'm kind of very happy that I started it again.
Okay, great. That is very kind of interesting. So you were like playing that kind of table tennis in school at those levels from beginning, and
yeah, when I was in class 7, 8, I was playing. Like 2 years, I was completely into playing. Like I didn't study at all. Like I was playing the whole day actually. That was actually something. And class 8 I dropped out in class 8, and then Baba was like, you are khelte the boda, you have to concentrate on your studies and all. So yeah, that's it.
But you finally made it to, I think, Xavier's Commerce. You're also a Xaverian.
Yes.
So I think you kind of made it up later. You kind of studied up, because people getting into Xavier's Commerce most probably have studied a bit, at least they should, or else you won't kind of get into it. Great. Yeah, I want to ask you something again. These are very kind of, these questions kind of bring out, some things, some quirkiness, some things that we don't know about you, and some insights actually how you function. That's the reason we ask these questions. So this question would be to you that, say if someone with a lot of money comes to you and says that, Niloy, and this is not to promote your brand, you or anything itself, okay, it will have to be your thought, okay, that's the first kind of fear. So say kind of an investor comes in and says that, I'll kind of put billboards throughout Calcutta in the most poshest areas, and you will have the kind of, you'll have a saying to what it says. Tell me, what would you put there, and why would you put that there? It might be a quote, it might be a saying, it might be anything. Not promoting yourself or any of your ventures. It has to be something that, okay, say I'm driving, if I see that is going to, whatever, it could hit me, it might not hit me, but what would you put it and why?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting question actually. And Yeah, there is one quotation I always believe in. Like it's always said by my wife Poonam. She always says like, "What happens happens for good," and I kind of believed in it, and I have realized that actually it is. It actually gives you a positive vibe always. You don't go through negativity, and you always have the hope in you that it's going to be over very soon. So yeah, this is a quotation that always is in my mind. And why would I say that? Because in this 12 years journey or before, there are a lot of ups and downs throughout the life, and I think this actually helps. And I have found later days that whatever maybe happened, maybe some worse thing has happened, and I have I went through depression and all, like not like severe depression. Everyone goes through depression at certain point of time, and I have thought like ebar ki hobe and all, and those that quotation from my wife has always kept me motivated through everything.
Okay.
So that is one quotation I would always say that. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. I think that we can always follow, right? There's no harm in
Exactly.
kind of being positive, having that positive, not like being superficially positive, but that kind of thinking, okay, fair enough, that this is not the end of the world. There are people, most of the problems we face are very first world problems, and we are I think we should be grateful and what we have, and that when we are positive about the things that are there, I think that reflects, and that mindset will kind of bring. So yeah, thanks for kind of sharing that from your end. And also Niloy, that I want to ask you that since we were talking about failures, you kind of said, and this is again something we ask, is there any failure, any specific failure which is favorite that you have, which has yes, which you have? Because why? Because we now see people who might know Niloy might think that okay, Niloy is kind of super successful in what he's doing, but obviously everyone, as you said, everyone has their ups and downs. The reason I'm asking you is that, is there any kind of specific failure at that point of time when you kind of saw you were like kind of devastated, which later kind of helped, and it was kind of something, a changer or anything which you will be able to share with us? Is there something you have specifically, favorite failure of yours or anything?
My favorite failure, if I say, it's kind of personal though.
Okay.
But there are other failures also which actually I can share, like
sure.
Failure in such a way, like to fail to make some people understand, like if I talk about profession, make people understand that this is not going to look good as a tattoo, because lot of people come up with lot of ideas, and it's a very funny thing. I should say that lot of people ask for the design, like but we have a strict rule in the studio that we don't share designs beforehand. Why? Because people who wants to get a tattoo, they think of like maybe 2 months, 3 months, and every day they are thinking of like, I want to get this, and they have like, they want everything in one single tattoo. That is the problem, like failing to make them understand that everything is not going to look good in one particular piece, but rather we try to take up the important points and putting up in the design. And with initial days that I have failed to make people understand has given a bad tattoo because too much of things into one thing actually creates a mess. So that has actually been a failure, where I have learned that you don't share the design prior.
Okay.
So mostly we are actually showing the design on the day, and if some changes and all, because they are getting less time to think on it, few changes that we make,
Okay.
and that becomes like that gives a really beautiful piece. And after the piece is done, definitely clients are very happy. But when it's shown beforehand, they put up like 20-30 different ideas that can you change this, can you change that, and that actually doesn't make a successful tattoo.
Okay. Pretty interesting to hear that. Okay, Niloy, we are kind of almost at the end. I do have 3 last questions. So first question would be to you on while we are kind of almost over, is that what are your future plans? Like, what is kind of happening with your studio? What anything exciting? And what are your kind of plans? Where do you go from here?
I'm not a very good planner, to be very honest.
Okay.
And I don't plan a lot in prior. Mostly I'm a person who goes with the flow.
Okay.
So I'm quite self-content, and I don't have like very high dreams of making millions or billions or whatever it is. So I actually have not visualized what's coming in maybe 5-10 years down the line. Maybe what I'm doing right now, I'm quite happy with it, and this is how I want to have I want to have a simple life, not like a lot of stress. I still do have a lot of stress which I want to overcome. So in future I have the ideas to actually lessen my stress. So for that I'll take the steps which is actually required to do so. So but if you talk about future plannings and all, there are not as such future plannings, but yeah, one recent latest initiative that we have taken is opening an tattoo academy. We call it Lizard Skin Art Demi.
Okay.
Where we are actually giving away the knowledge to the newer generation who are actually smarter than us, who are actually going to be better than us.
Wow.
So because we know, like, if we hold on to what we know, we actually will be foolish to not to share it with the people or newer generation, because they'll keep the show running. And with lot of wrong knowledge, lot of people does lot of blunder. So we want to guide the people who are really interested into this field of work, so that they can get the training properly and can do justice to skin, which is one time thing.
Okay. That was very interesting. So we are looking forward to that from your end. And my second last question is, again, we'll come back. We started with your music part. We'll come back to a question which is dedicated to music. Sorry. That is basically, what do you think about the current music scene of Bengal?
Current music scene, I think if you talk about current music scene in Calcutta, see, I believe Calcutta is like always evolving. Like we see like lot of musicians who are actually ruling industry are from West Bengal or Calcutta, we can say. So I think the scene would always be good like it was before, and it is still now, it is great, and in future will always be, because we are the people who are experimenting and new talents are always coming in. So it'll always be a great contribution to the industry from the artists who are always evolving and giving new sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually basically answered my last question too with this. The last question was what is the future sound of Bengal? You almost answered that question. So your last question, what I'll ask, I won't ask that same thing because you kind of gave us a kind of feel of what that might be. So then my final question to you on the show would be, is there anything you want to kind of tell anyone who's kind of, seeing this, any message you have from your end? Kuchek, any parting words that you have?
Yeah, I think first of all, I'll talk about the situation that we have been through for the last 2 years, where we all had to step back forward. We had to take a step backward. COVID, and I hope that this is going to be over now, but with the new war situation, which is I actually don't understand what actually goes behind the people's mind, that why can't we live in peace actually. Why something like this has to happen. First we have seen few countries like Syria, Afghanistan, now Ukraine. This is quite a crazy situation, and we can actually, if some conflicts happens, it doesn't have to be war always, where innocent lives are losing their life, and a lot of wrong things are happening. So as you have asked me this question, this is the only thing that actually is being in my mind for few days, which actually is quite disturbing. That's why this is what I wanted to talk about. But we all hope that this world actually heals, but not with this war and this virus game and all that happens.
That's right. So I think that itself, that discussion would require a long talk, but what I can say is that, let there be peace, not war. I think that is, we can kind of end this on that note. So thank you so much, Niloy, for your time. Once again, taking out your time after your busy kind of schedule the whole day, and coming to Krishnasphere for doing this episode. I'm sure, we'll kind of connect later also sometime, but for this, I'm sure we will be very excited. Our folks are going to be very excited to see you on this. So, okay, thanks once again. Guys who are watching, we will be coming up in our next episode with one more very interesting individual. Till then, this is Future Sound of Bengal. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.